Assalamu alaikum friends, the story that will be presented this time is about the last seconds of Abraham Lincoln, the tragic night at the Ford Theater. Okay, for more details, let's just read the complete story as follows. Washington, D.C. April 14, 1865. The Civil War has ended, and the United States celebrates a bittersweet victory. President Abraham Lincoln, who had led the nation through one of the darkest periods in its history, felt exhausted but relieved. That evening, he and his wife, Mary Todd Lincoln, decided to attend a performance of the comedy Our American Cousin at the Ford Theater. Abraham Lincoln, a man known for his simplicity and humility, wanted to enjoy a relaxing evening. However, behind that joy, the shadow of threat still haunts. John Wilkes Booth, a famous actor and rabid Confederate sympathizer, planned Lincoln's assassination. Booth, who believed that Lincoln was a tyrant, wanted revenge for the South's defeat. As the performance progresses, Booth sneaks into the theater. He knew exactly where Lincoln was sitting, on the presidential balcony. With his Derringer pistol in hand, Booth approached the balcony cautiously. When a funny scene on stage makes the audience laugh, Booth opens the balcony door and goes inside. In the darkness, Booth pointed his gun at the back of Lincoln's head. In a barely audible voice, he shouted, "Sic semper tyrannis. So it is always for tyrants," and pulled the trigger. The bullet passed through Lincoln's head, and the president fell into his chair. Mary Todd Lincoln screamed hysterically, and chaos broke out in the theater. Booth jumped from the balcony to the stage, breaking his leg on landing. However, he managed to escape from the theater in the confusion. Lincoln was taken to the Peterson House, a house across the street from the theater. Doctors rushed to save his life, but the injuries were too severe. Throughout the night, Mary Todd Lincoln and cabinet members waited anxiously at the bedside. The next morning, at 7:22, Abraham Lincoln breathed his last breath. The nation that had just celebrated victory was now filled with deep sadness. News of Lincoln's death spread quickly, and cities across the country mourned. John Wilkes Booth was hunted down and eventually found hiding in a barn in Virginia. He was shot dead when he refused to surrender. Abraham Lincoln's death was a tragedy that shook the United States. However, his legacy as a president who saved the nation and abolished slavery will always be remembered. He is a symbol of hope, courage and unity, and his story continues to inspire generation after generation. So friends, that's all the story about Abraham Lincoln's last seconds, tragic night at Ford's Theater that can be presented. We apologize if there are any errors in the description or picture presented, because it is only intended to sweeten the story so that it is easier to understand. Thank you for watching. Wassalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.